So this is what people get wrong about Greta Thunberg and other climate activists. So we were first introduced to Greta Thunberg, most of us anyway, in 2019 at the UN Climate Action Committee or something. You look it up and correct me in the comment section. And that's where we saw the famous, "How dare you? How dare you take away my future, you piece of sh-" So we hate these climate activists because they're preaching to us. They're telling us everything we're doing wrong. The thing you're missing about that is that she's not actually addressing you. She's at the UN. She's addressing world leaders because ultimately you and I have very little control or even a relative impact on the environment. You driving your gas car is not going to destroy the environment. You flying in a jet is not going to destroy the environment. But it's the choices that politicians make that end up destroying the environment when they're building power plants, when they're building new infrastructure. Which this also brings me to my next point. The climate is not a single thing because the climate will impact different people in different ways. And by most studies, it impacts the poorest people the most. So when Greta Thunberg or other activists start going into other things, start looking at other things, for example, the war in Gaza, that is not only a human rights issue, but it's also a climate issue. Because when we go to war, when ordinances are dropped, it destroys the environment. Just think about it this, right? Like lately in the United States, we have Trump saying we're going back to fossil fuels. I'm not going to go into the details here, but fossil fuels are deadly. Nuclear is actually one of the safest fuels that we have. Coal, oil, natural gas, the emissions kill hundreds of thousands of people a year, but it does it in a way that's not as dramatic as a nuclear meltdown. The people who make these decisions know that. They're in the pockets of corporations. So the actual climate activists, the people who've actually studied the stuff, the people who know what they're talking about, they know this. Is there some hypocrisy on their part? Maybe. But the thing is, what they're saying, it doesn't make it any less true. A person flying around on their private jet is not destroying the environment. It's the leader who decides not to invest in high-speed rail because some oil company has donated hundreds of thousands or millions to his party or his campaign. Actually, there is one thing that climate activists are shaming us over. It's not what we do that affects the environment directly. It's who we decide to elect. That's where we should feel shame. Because when we elect leaders who deny that climate change is a thing and insist on going a path which is not only destroying the environment, but is actually killing us, like policies that are actually killing us, like energy policies, then yeah, we should be ashamed.